Well, here it is, my first throwback review of the year, and much like the Chipmunks, I unfortunately have to start this off on a sour note. Now, obviously, this movie is bad. I mean, the studio clearly had no faith in it because it came out the same day as Star Wars The Force Awakens, but my word, this is one of the most painful children's films I've had to sit through. Why did I choose to sit through this film, you may ask? Well, I have a somewhat fond nostalgia for the other three films in the series that they were going when I was a kid. Even going back and watching some of the other ones for this, I was like, yeah, okay, there's problems with them, but they're at least somewhat entertaining, and this one is not. The other films had pretty decent CGI, where the Chipmunks at least look somewhat realistic, but with this film, the CGI doesn't even look fully rendered. And the story is just so uninteresting and has quite a few issues. For one, the Chipheads are barely even in this movie, and that's because apparently they become judges for American Idol, which is fine, but why just them? Haven't the Chipmunks been around longer? Aren't they more famous? I mean, shouldn't they get to both be on the show? And then kind of near the end where Dave adopts the Chipmunks, like, were they not adopted before? Like, what was the relationship there for these other movies? And why just them? Did the Chipettes not get adopted? I'm confused here. There's a lot of stuff that needs explaining. And I never thought I would be asking these questions about Alvin and the frickin' Chipmunks. And why does everyone just act like this is a completely normal thing that goes on? Sure, we have talking, singing chipmunks, and a human can just adopt these chipmunks. That's perfectly legal. That's perfectly fine. There's a lot of gaps in logic in this. They just did not try on this one. And absolutely none of the jokes in this movie work. On one hand, it's trying to be hip and trendy, but also appealing to what appears to be the lowest common denominator audience. Now, I'm not going to act like the other films were exactly high-quality cinema either, but they at least had a few jokes that were somewhat funny. This was not, apart from maybe Tony Hale. And I gotta give a shout out to him because, by golly, he's the only one in this film who's actually trying. He's not given much to work with, but he takes what he is given and he gives it his all. He's the only actor with a sense of fun in this film. I mean, even Jason Lee seems like he's grown tired of these movies. David Cross was smart to not return. Whereas the other films seemed like there was some effort, like they were at least genuinely trying to make something decent. This film feels absolutely lazy, unnecessary, and forced. I hope the next film in this franchise is Alvin and the Chipmunks, The Trip to the Taxidermist. I would give Alvin and the Chipmunks Throw Chip a D, a 1 out of 5 stars, a 4 out of 10, and that's only because of Tony Hale.